Hello Capricorn, and welcome to your reading. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope you're all doing really well, by the way. We're going to start with these oracle cards, and then we're going to pull in some tarot to get some advice from Spirit moving forward. So let's see. Spirit, we're ready for you, Capricorn. Let's see what comes up today. We have Observer. Your cards are a bit all over the place. We have Exchanging Gifts. What else for Capricorn, please? Oh, very jumpy cards, Capricorn. They're a bit edgy. They feel a bit all over the place. We have Imagine. On the bottom of the deck, we have Soulmates. So, I feel like it's really interesting energy, this. As I say, the cards felt very edgy, very jumpy, but the reading itself doesn't read like that. So that's a really interesting, whether that will come through in the tarot, I don't know. But let's see what we've got here. I feel like we start with Observer, and I feel like you are literally watching a situation develop. It may be, you may have someone around you that is involved in an activity or starting a project or working on a particular issue. It could even be a relationship for some people, but I feel that it's you watching someone else going through it. And I feel like as you're watching them, Capricorn, you're thinking, do you know, I can see the gaps in what they're trying to achieve here. And actually, I feel that I could help them with this. Now, it feels like you're recognizing, Capricorn, that you have skills or knowledge or experience that you could bring to the table. And I think that it's been intriguing for you to watch this. Feels like a friend, it could be a family member, but to see them taking the steps they're taking, and you've had to hold yourself back a bit because you're thinking, actually, you know, if they did this or they did that, that would help them move forward more easily. It's that sort of feeling, and I don't feel you're particularly frustrated by it. In fact, I don't feel you're frustrated at all. I feel it's more sort of an eagerness, a curiosity. But I also get the sense that you don't want to overstep the mark. So for some of you, it's almost like you're waiting for an opening. You're waiting for the right discussion or conversation at the right time, where maybe this friend or this person, whoever they are, says, yeah, I'm trying to do this, but I'm a bit stuck. It's almost like you're waiting for that. And that's why you're sitting back and observing. You're waiting for the right opportunity, Spirit have just said. What we see is things moving forward, though. And I must just say, this is going to be different for all of you in the way it's manifesting and who it is we're talking about, because these are very general readings. But this situation is going to move forward, and it's going to move forward in the way you want it to, because here we see you exchanging gifts. So you may find that you enter into some sort of partnership with someone. I don't mean a formal partnership, but I feel it's more of a cooperative liaison. How's that for a fancy phrase? But it feels like you helping somebody and then discover that in that process, they've got skills, knowledge and experience that also help you to develop, you to learn. So it really feels like a shared skill set. And we see you exchanging those gifts with each other. So whatever it is you've been observing and thinking, I could make a difference there, I think you're going to learn from each other. It's going to happen. You may feel the need to be very imaginative, very creative. It may be that whatever this is calls for creativity, calls for you to, you know, imagine possibilities. It may be that this, if it's a project, for example, it may be that you having those moments of inspiration, imagination, letting the creativity flow is what pushes the project forward. And equally, if it's something to do with this person's relationship, you know, it may be their relationship with their child, it may be their relationship with family, it could be their partnership, whatever it is. It may be that you think of creative ways of making that situation better, you know, because there may be something they've overlooked. They may be looking after someone that's not well, but don't know that there are resources out there to help them do that. You know, it could be that sort of thing. It's going to be different for all of you. I think you're going to find a real connection with this person, though. As it develops and your relationship with them develops, you're going to have more and more in common. And I think, yes, this is a soulmates card. I think you're going to feel connected to this person on quite a deep level, because obviously soulmates is more than just, you know, oh yes, you know, myself and that person get on well. Soulmates is on a very deep level. It's almost like when you look at the person, there's that moment of recognition that your souls have met before. So I do feel that maybe that's why you're being drawn into this situation. You're not being drawn in against your will. You're choosing to be drawn in because there's that, remember I said about curiosity? It's almost like the person themselves fascinates you also, because you feel that you could work together, and it's because on some level they are a soulmate. Now remember, soulmates can be anybody, as I said. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. In this instance, I don't believe it is. I believe it's a friend, or possibly a family member, maybe an acquaintance. And that may be why you've hesitated to move forward sooner, Capricorn, because you're thinking, well, I don't really know them that well, but I'm curious about what they're doing and I kind of like their vibe, but I don't know how they're going to receive me, basically, you know, but you're drawn to them. That's the interesting thing here. Right, let's bring in the tarot. Spirit, we're with Capricorn, as you know. What do you want Capricorn to know, please, moving forward? Yeah, it's time for you to actually take that step forward. You know, you may have spent a lot of time, as we said, waiting for the right opportunity. But Spirit are saying, look, you know, you've got all this experience. You've got all your 8 cups in a nice collection here. I was going to say row, but they're not. But you've collected your 8 cups. You've gathered that experience, that knowledge, that what was the other word? Advice, I think it was, but that doesn't fit. But you know what I mean. Anyway, you've gathered all that, Capricorn. This person is now thinking, I need something else to stretch me. I need something else to capture my interest, something else I can build on. And she's looking outwards for that, just as you are here. You're observing what's going on with this person. So Spirit are saying, you know, make the decision. It's not time to there's no point you just waiting. You need to maybe approach this person and just have a chat to them about what they're doing. That will initiate the conversation that you've been waiting for, Capricorn. Let's see what else. What else do you have for Capricorn, please? Messages moving forward, Spirit. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a partnership here. And as I said, I don't feel it's a formal partnership. I feel it's cooperative working and you're going to be learning from each other. The 8 of Pentacles talks about diligence, talks about concentrated effort, about, you know, working hard, basically. And I feel that you are really going to be, because there's this soulmate energy underpinning it, I feel that you're really going to be sort of quite committed to making this project move forward, or sorting out whatever this is that this person is dealing with or creating. I do think there's a creative element to it. Let me know if that resonates, because that is really interesting. It feels quite exciting. Tell us more, please, Spirit. Oops. Yeah, you see, it is about you being able, when you're using your imagination, your intuition, your creativity, it brings up all those ideas that you really feel invested in, those things that you absolutely love, and it will enable you to make the right decisions. Twos in tarot are decisions, and it will enable you to make the right decision that feels really good to you. Because we have cups, the cups cards are all about emotions. Two of cups is the bringing together of something that makes you feel good. So yeah, let that imagination flow, because I think it's going to be a real asset to whatever this project is, or whatever this set of circumstances is. What else for Capricorn, please? Oh, that's an interesting card. Spirit are saying, yes, this person has piqued your curiosity. You're drawn into them because there is a soulmate connection. Doesn't mean that it's not going to be without its challenges. So, we've talked about it in quite a harmonious way, because it feels very harmonious. It feels like you're on the right track. It feels like it's going to be something you're going to love, Capricorn. But there may be times when you disagree. There may be times, Seven of Wands, as I say, card of challenge. It may be that, your person that you're dealing with here, or working with, or creating with, they may have opposing ideas to you. Their imagination and creativity may be running riot, and they may well be having, as I said, opposing views, or they may not like what you come up with. And that could cause some friction along the way. I'm only using that as an example. But as I said, Spirit are saying it won't all be plain sailing, but I think it will still keep it interesting. Because if it was all plain sailing and all smooth waters, now and again you need a little bit of friction to liven things up, don't you? Says me, a Piscean who doesn't like friction. But there is something here about parts. It doesn't necessarily need to be the person that's causing the challenge. It could be the work you're doing itself could be quite challenging, because you're coming up with new ideas. You're having to find out how they fit. You may have other people making demands on you. And sometimes, when you've got lots of demands being made on you, it's difficult to find your way forward, because you've got lots of things going on. Very interesting. They wanted me to say to you, because they've just said bottom of the deck, whichever way it goes, Capricorn, and I feel it's moving in a great direction. I feel you're going to love it. You're going to have the strength to see it through. You're going to have the strength to achieve what you want to achieve. So, go for it. Have that conversation. And it isn't about, I think you've been treading carefully, because you sense that this is this person's project, or whatever it is they're dealing with. It could be, as I said, it could be to do with their family. It could be to do, and you've had to be sensitive around this issue. And I think that's right. I think you have had to be. But it maybe takes you to step forward and just to have this general conversation, which will then lead to the opportunity you've been waiting for, to say, do you know what, I could actually help with that. I feel that's how it's going to come about. So yeah, let me know how it resonates. I'm loving this, because it feels really interesting. It feels like something really that you've been curious about, that you can just really get your teeth into. So I'm going to leave it there. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I'm not going to say let me know what resonates again. I've said it about 4 times, because it's just, some readings just appeal to me a lot. And this is one of them. Anyway, Capricorn, thank you so much for all of you who've offered your support with likes, with comments, with follows, subscribing, whatever you've done. Thank you so much. I love to know that you're enjoying the readings and that they're resonating with some of you. So thank you. And I will speak to you all really soon. Bye for now.